السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah. I live another day. I live another day to do this. We are looking into the hardcore mantle of the Environmental Quality Clean Air Regulations 2014. And right now we have gone into the third schedule, which stipulate all the emissions standard for activities listed in the first schedule. Now, today we are going to look at Part D of the third schedule, which is a category of industry which the law call or categorize them as non-ferrous metal process, meaning it's a metallurgy. It's about metals smelting and processing from ore perhaps to ingots, and they got to use furnace, they have to use kettle and all this, and they have got to split the impurities away from the metals that they desire purely by using physical method, usually melting point of the different varieties of metals, okay? And in this situation, in this category, non-ferrous metal production, the law stipulate, if you take a look, the law stipulate lead, cadmium. If it is lead and cadmium, and they are producing, the manufacturing capacity is producing 0.5 tons a day or more, then they are categorized as non-ferrous metal process listed under the first schedule as Part D, right? What if they are producing lead and cadmium, but only at 0.4 tons per day? Where do they belong as far as the clean air regulation is concerned? The answer is, as you know, they would belong to other industries. What about the emissions from their furnace? Then their emissions from their furnace shall be subscribing to fourth and fifth schedule. All right. What if they have got genset? What if they've got burner? Then their genset and burner, if they don't belong to the huge genset, then the emissions are all subscribed under fourth and fifth schedule. And for other metals other than lead, cadmium, and non-ferrous of other metals, which I think some of you know, metals like aluminum, they are non-ferrous, chromium, all right, zinc, nickel, tin, and all this. If they are produced in a quantity equivalent to or more than 2 tons per day, then they are subscribing to this particular regulation under first schedule of activities, and their emission standard will fall under third schedule, Part D, non-ferrous metal process. Got it? Now, let's recap what we have done so far, just in case some of you missed out. Well, YouTube comes with some convenience, and if you think that this effort of mine, sharing all this experience and interpretation of the law for this part, is beneficial and useful to you, please be kind enough, have a conscience, all right, of what we are doing, what we are sharing together. Be kind enough to subscribe to my channel, which is Khalid MA. And this channel, all you got to do is, if you are viewing this from a link in Facebook or LinkedIn or blog, it will open up the YouTube channel, and there you are. All you got to do is subscribe. After I finish this law, which is actually lengthy, I will come into all other knowledge which can be useful, which should be useful to environmental managers, environmental engineers, competent persons, and auditors out there. Some of you have just joined the group or have just joined the environmental club. I believe this would serve as a cobblestone to bring you to a higher level in a short time. Good luck. Now, this is what I have called in my previous video the Google map of clean air regulation. Right? And I've got ants on my glasses. I'm not sure where the ant come from and what does it want. My glass is not so sweet. Now, this is a slide from PowerPoint which I have developed in 2014, and I'm showing you here a very simple map. Remember, as we said, as auditors, as consultants especially, I want you to master this. Whenever you look at any industry and we want to know whether and how they apply the clean air regulation, the first question you got to look for is to find out whether they are listed in the first schedule or not. And the list of industries in the first schedule is in our earlier videos. I've shown you a better slide, and I have displayed everything in order. And remember, if these industries are listed in the first schedule, all the emissions of air impurities coming out from their process, the air pollutant, it could be SOx, NOx, total particulate matter, and all other, I would say, hazardous air impurities like lead, mercury, even dioxin and furan, all of them are listed for their respective type and nature of industry are already listed by the law in the third schedule. So when you find them already listed in the first schedule, their air impurities emission standard shall be that of third schedule. Don't bother to look at the fourth schedule and the fifth schedule. It's not related to them anymore because this law has been designed in a way that the environmental parameters stipulated in the third schedule for those activities listed in the first schedule is customized, I would say that. It is based on research, it's based on years of reports and analysis of the nature of air pollutants coming from those industries, all right? So those other industries, which is maybe not meeting the criteria listed in the first schedule, their emission standards shall be in the fourth and fifth schedule. We'll come to that later. Are you ready? Let's get into this particular. Right. Remember, I think I'm kind enough to give you the list of activities in the first schedule. There you are. I'm repeating this again just in case some of you might miss out. All right, this is the first schedule. What are they? Look, this is actually A, B, C, D until H based on the list in the law, but I just want to make it simple here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Today, in this session, we are going to look into this one. Got it? Non-ferrous metal process. All right, which is lead, cadmium, and other metals. When they are being produced more than the quantum stipulated here, they have specific environmental parameters are concerned, and they have specific emission standard that they got to comply with. Okay, if you're ready, let's take a look. All right, this is the activities in the first schedule. Now, our concern is this today. Look, what we have here, as I believe you remember from the previous slide, I have arranged in this order. In this part are all the various types of processes related to it. Okay, and the law stipulate sinter plants, copper and zinc production, lead production, primary aluminium production, secondary aluminium production, smelt alloy refining of aluminium, all right, and smelting alloy refining of other non-ferrous metals like nickel, copper, etc. Now let's take a look at the parameters now. These are all the environmental parameters. They are specific to the nature and type of processes for this particular category. The first parameter, as you could see, is sulfur dioxide. All right, sulfur dioxide. Normally, in previous efforts, before the promulgation of this new law, 2014, when we were using Clean Air Regulation 1978 and all the kebenaran bertulis, kelulusan bertulis, all the written approvals from the authorities, they only focus on these few types of emissions. In general, which is sulfur oxides, they just use SOx and NOx, all right, and particulate matter, dust particulate. That's what they do it in those years. And you don't see total lead or even hydrofluoric acid, but you've got hydrofluoric acid mist, sulfuric acid mist. You don't have fluorine there, gases, all right? And of course, you don't have non-methane. This is lead, total lead, yeah? Hydrofluoric acid, fluorine. Where does all this come from? It's the mole, all right? And non-methane, volatile organic carbon, and also polychlorinated dibenzodioxin and polychlorinated dibenzofurane. These are all the carcinogenic and mutagenic stuff that you have learned in environmental sciences. Now, remember, take a look. The units used is in milligram per cubic meter. Be careful, it is very, very low, okay? And it is very strict. Now, as usual, I have before you arranged those parameters that require CEMS. I have given you in the form of rates font. For example, this one. If you look at sinter plants, all right, let's take a look at sinter plants. Okay, this is sinter plants. For all sinter plants, apparently, for sulfur dioxide, the emission limit is less than 500 milligram per cubic meter, and the monitoring is continuous, meaning CEMS. So for those in red font, we require CEM. I've never written on laptop before. Mousepad S. It doesn't look good at all. Sorry about that. Now, see, the other parameter is nitrogen dioxide. it also requires CMS, meaning this industry has got to install CMS, continuous emission monitoring system. The same thing goes for total particulate matter. All right, got it? All right, so for sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, and total particulate matter, sinter plants require CEMS installation and calibration and handover and maintenance. The operations needs maintenance. I have, well, some experience with my associates who have been using CMS. There are some issues, especially maintenance. And I want you to be careful if you install CMS. All right, for auditors and a competent person, please check the integrity of the calibration. Please check when they change parts, they are giving the original parts, especially the sensors. All right, they've got orifice tubes and all this, especially the sensors. Apparently, what I can share with you is that these equipments are quite susceptible to our climate conditions. Okay, and you have got to select fabricators who are able or can install them in consideration of our robust climate. Okay, now the next parameter is, look, lead, total lead, TPB. It is total lead. Now the font is blue, right? And this law in this particular segment doesn't state whether or not, how often they have got to do sampling and analysis, meaning the frequency of monitoring is not stated in this particular regulation. Therefore, Regulation 16 shall apply, whereby, according to Regulation 16, they have got to do monitoring once per year, minimum. So the same thing goes for non-methane volatile organic carbon and also dioxin and furan. They have got to do once per year for sinter plants. Got it? Are you following? All right, that is for sinter plants. I hope you are able to catch the ball. Okay. So the parameters, if you look at it carefully, it has covered what is covered in fourth schedule, which is dioxin and furan. So why they don't have to look into fourth schedule? It's all here. And also hazardous substances is in fifth schedule, which is volatile organic carbon. There's an array of volatile organic carbon. So consultants, stack sampler, labs, please. There is a range. There are different varieties as far as non-methane volatile organic carbon. One of them is benzene, and the rest are long chain or multiple carbon volatile organic carbon. You got to find out which. If it's benzene, you got to state in your report it's benzene. If it's pyridine, then it's pyridine. There's so many varieties of non-methane volatile organic carbon. If it's alkane, it's alkane. Okay, so you got to specify which type of volatile organic carbon that this particular industry have in their emission. I hope that's clear. Now let's take a look at the other processes like copper and zinc. Look, they are only subscribing to total particulate matter. Don't ask, don't we need to do dioxin and furan? Forget it. The law says only total particulate matter. Stick to that. That's it. Unless there is an additional notice of instruction coming from the authorities asking this particular industry to add on additional environmental parameters such as VOC, such as lead, then that has got to be a legible written notice, not a verbal instruction, all right? And once you receive that, that is considered to be legible, legal order. Then you comply. Otherwise, stick to this law, stick to total particulate matter, build yourself a CMS. Got it? The rest of the parameter for copper and zinc production is not applicable. So don't bother to look for other parameters, including flicking through fourth and fifth schedule. No need, it's all here already. The law has specified for copper and zinc production, the legal concern is total particulate matter. That's it. Got it? That's it. Nothing more. All right? I hope it's clear. The same thing goes for lead production. Apparently, only total particulate matter and CEMS. Primary aluminum from aluminum ingots. Look, two parameters require CMS. What are they? Sulfur dioxide and total particulate matter. And two others require manual periodic sampling, which is hydrofluoric acid fumes and fluorine. Free radical fluorine gases. Got it? That's all. Secondary aluminum production, the environmental parameter of concern is the one that requires CEMS, apparently is total particulate matter, regulated under the law. And for sulfur dioxide, they are also regulated, but not required for CEMS. They can do this by using the normal isokinetic stack sampling once a year only. Got it? The rest of the parameter for these industries not applicable, except for sinter plants. You could see more concern as far as the number of environmental parameters stipulated for them. Okay, what about smelting, alloy refining of aluminum? There you are. Only total particulate matter, and that requires CMS. And smelting, alloy refining, and other non-ferrous, they only require to have a CMS for the measurement, the continuous measurement of total particulate matter. Got it? So please be careful. Where do we have to be careful here? Quantum. Auditors, consultants, please pay attention on this one. Sometimes we tend to make mistakes when we overlook, especially when we read the law. We got to flick the law book to and fro, back and forth, back and forth. I'm giving you here a slide, easy for you to digest, all right, and check with the law. While you're looking at this video, I might make mistake. What put you down? Okay, so take a look. Look, if the production is less than 0.5, they are not listed in the first schedule. Their emission standard is not that schedule, so refer them to fourth and fifth schedule if they are less. If the production of lead and cadmium is equivalent to or more than 0.5 ton a day, okay, then they are subscribing to this one. For other metals, the same thing, the same concept. If they are producing equivalent to or more than 2 metric tons per day, this is the law for them. This is their environmental standard. These are the parameters for them, and this is their requirement for CMS and whatnot. If they are producing less than 2 metric tons per day, then their emission standard will be in the fourth schedule and fifth schedule. That's about it. All right, this is the best I could explain to make it short, because I think some of the videos are lengthy, might bring you or put you in a state of deep thought. All right, so before that happens, I'll try to make it snappy, easy for you to digest, and I hope, excuse me, what I'm doing is adequate. Uh, if I have, if I'm blessed with life and soul tomorrow, after this, I'll pursue with the next video for all of you to share. Remember, you can produce, reproduce, copy, download, whatever of my work here, and I don't reserve any rights. I don't want knowledge to be engulfed in some copyrights. For me, it's nonsense. Okay, you can produce this, share it with people, teach people, especially your colleagues, your clients. When more Malaysians have got good understanding of these legal requirements, it would make us living in a better country of knowledgeable Malaysian. And I want my kids and generations to live in such a community. Knowledge. Community with knowledge, not just lust. Okay? Got it? So thank you very much. So I hope you're kind enough to subscribe to this video, and see you in the next session. Have a good day. I wish everybody blessing from the Almighty Creator, and for everyone, my wish to you is Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. See you the next time.